Earth signs, your money forecast for the week of October 9th through the 13th is represented by the Two of Swords. So for you, there's some kind of decision that needs to be made or some kind of dilemma that you're facing, and you're kind of taking your time to address that. Maybe that's because you don't have enough information or you're not dealing with your emotions, you're holding back in some way. You just don't know how things are going to turn out, and so you're waiting. So for you, this could be a week where there are some kind of delays. Maybe something is not moving forward very quickly because you have a difficult decision to make. Now, for some of you, this may focus on agreements or settlements of some sort. And for others of you, you are playing a strategy through waiting. And maybe that's for you to sort of do a psychological number on the opponent or your adversary or your competitor. For some of you, you're at odds with another person. There's some feuding parties, or maybe you're having trouble making up your mind about something because you're of two minds. It could be that you're playing either mediator or you are the person triggering some quarrels between others this week. Whatever it is, depending on your circumstance, your determination is going to be key in a situation. It's either going to work for you or it's going to work against you. Now, for some of you, you're very confident, maybe overly confident about a situation, and others of you are dealing with some doubt. And either way, you may be tempted to do nothing at all, and you know that you're going to regret it because you're just falling back on what's easiest. Now, in some situations where waiting is used as a strategy, that may be very effective. You may come on top specifically because there is a delay, and it may favor you in some way and strengthen your position. But for those of you who are having trouble making this decision, either because of you or the other person or circumstance, you may become very impatient, very frustrated about a situation, and then it may cause you to lash out in a negative way where you say something or you act a certain way or you do something, and that thing undermines what you're hoping to move forward, that project that you wanted to save, or a situation you wanted to salvage, or some kind of pursuit that you wanted to promote. Now, for some of you, you're making your moves based on the idea of self-preservation or getting some progress, making some forward movement. And again, because of that, you could be the catalyst for other people in a dispute. Whatever it is, this is a week where your emotions need to be kept in check because some irrational fears or some anxieties may show up when you least expect. Now, the underlying influence is celebration, congratulations, or in order. You've closed the deal or landed the big account. Your success has exceeded expectations. So for many of you, it appears that taking a little time to make your decision or using that as a strategy actually pays off for you in some way. Now, this is all being driven by this Ten of Wands. So for some of you, perhaps this decision or dilemma that you're facing is that you've had so many plans. You've been very ambitious, and now you're dealing with the burden of your success. For others of you, you're focused on your work, you're putting in a lot of effort, and you may feel overworked or burdened in some way. So for some of you, this is all about taking on unreasonable obligations, taking on too much and feeling pressure about it. And that may be tied to the dilemma, feeling as if you have too much on your plate, no control over your circumstances, and you feel trapped. So for some of you, you've overextended yourself and you're struggling with that. Now, for many of you, it looks like because you have this celebration card that you're going to get some relief from some difficult circumstances. Maybe your burdens are being lifted. You're making some gains. You're overcoming some obstacles. And if you were at odds with another person, this may have involved some kind of breach of faith or a violation of your trust, or you're just worried. And maybe you're worried that you're misusing your talents. You're not putting in good effort where you're going to get a return. For some of you, you've been taking on other people's responsibility. So you're at a crossroads this week, and largely because you're trying to make a decision about how much you can endure, what you can take on, how many responsibilities you have. Is it fair? Can you deal with the stress? So this is a week where you're going to have some opportunities to make some changes that change the way you do things for the better. So it could be that you had some anxieties that cropped up and you're blowing those out of proportion. You're attaching too much importance to a situation, or somebody that you're involved with is, and that's taxing you physically, emotionally, psychologically. So it could be more in your head than anything else. You're making things out to be more than what they should be. So this week gives you a chance to make some changes, to improve the way you operate. And that could be delegating, passing some things off, or looking at what's really important, changing the way you think, the way you work, your attitude, the way you feel, and realizing that it may be better for you to let some things go so that you can deal with better things that are more worthwhile to you. For some of you, again, there's some uncertainty, you're holding yourself back, you're not moving forward, and you're staying in a rut. And because you have so much on your plate, you're going to end up breaking a promise, either to other people because you overextended yourself and you can't deliver, or you're breaking a promise to yourself because you were overreaching in your expectations. So this is a week to make sure your perspective is clear and that you're not distorting the facts or creating more problems in your mind than really do exist. So your desire and your ability to accommodate other people is key here. So whatever that is, it's going to either weaken your ability, whether to believe in yourself or to know what you really want or what you really want to do for yourself. Now, this is driven by vested interest. Focus on investments that will yield in the long term. This is a good time to negotiate or seek the best deal. Put affairs in order regarding jointly held resources. Now, that jointly held may be key, especially if you're in opposition to another person. If you're just simply taking on too many responsibilities, this may be saying, look at those things that actually offer you some long-term benefit and let go of those other things that may not necessarily pay off for you in the best way. So this is a good time for you to negotiate, seek the best deal, and it sounds like something is going to move forward for you that exceeds your expectations.